Well, good day and welcome. Well, good day, good night, whatever. You know the drill. So, welcome to episode 36 of the Universe of Magic podcast. My name is John, and as always, I am joined virtually at the table by the one, the only Alyssa Dunham,
Hello, everybody.
the second and only Jeffrey Armbruster,
Hey, gang.
and you know him, you love him. He has the T-shirt for everywhere he's been. Joe Goff, a spectacular Moments of Magic travel agent.
Hey,
It's
everybody.
good to have you back, Joe. We love having you on, man. You are a wealth of knowledge. And boy, oh boy, do we have... I did that wrong. We have a great show planned for you tonight because it's something that probably not a lot of people know about. And that's... What do we even call it? The jewel of the islands. I don't know how you even phrase it. Aulani.
It's one of the stones in Mickey's Infinity Gauntlet. It's right. You got Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney, and then Joe. What we have?
There you go.
Your budget will go snap. No, I'm joking.
Aulani, one of the Infinity Stones.
Yes.
Wow, Jeff, I'm using that analogy.
That's gonna be a short. That has got to be a short. Like off the top, man. You already knocked it out of the park. So yeah. So Alyssa, why don't you just kind of, since you have done an incredible job, just lead the discussion on Aulani, because not a lot of people know about it.
So
they don't even realize it.
I was going through trying to create the show notes for today, and I'm so glad, Joe, that you're here, because I always feel like I hate guiding other people on something that I haven't experienced myself just yet. But Joe, you're like my person that I'm like always going to go to, because you just got back from Aulani, like a month ago or so?
Yeah, we went beginning of June. We were on the ground 8 days.
And I just was living through all your photos. So I'm so excited to hear about your experience and maybe to give some insight into like us and our listeners all about the resort and what it offers and like what that kind of vacation can be like. So I'm excited that you're on, because I don't know as much about it beyond what trainings I've been on the property. So can you just give us like a quick rundown? How were your 8 days there? What were like some highlights, things that you did?
Well, I mean, gosh, where do you start? I mean, it's beautiful. All the Hawaiian Islands are amazing. Of course, Aulani is located on the island of Oahu, which is kind of where Honolulu is, which is the state capital. And Oahu is also famous for Waikiki Beach and the North Shore and Pearl Harbor. So that kind of gives a little bit of point of reference. And Aulani is located in the Ko Olina part of Oahu, which is pretty much in the southwest corner of the island. And it's perfectly situated, in my opinion, because it's close enough to everything, like Waikiki and all the kind of the highlights, but it's a little bit removed, so it's perfect for like a family who wants access to all the island highlights, but wants a little bit of quiet too, or even like a couple on a anniversary or something like that. It doesn't have to be just family.
So Disney knew what they were doing, is what you're saying, when they selected.
As always, they always do. Yeah.
We should probably bring up here that it wasn't affected by any of the fires that happened the last couple of weeks, and
Correct.
All of us here at Moments of Magic and our staff, our hearts go out to everybody who had significant damage and had to suffer through that over there in Maui. Our hearts go out to you guys.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. What you mentioned, it could be for couples, it could be families. Who did you go with, Joe?
So I went with my wife and my daughter. My wife and I actually went on our honeymoon 20 years ago to Hawaii. In that time we did a cruise, and then after the cruise we stayed at Waikiki for I think 3 nights. And so we wanted to celebrate our 20th, and then my daughter was also turning 16. So it's kind of a joint celebration. And when we heard about Aulani a few years ago, it immediately became a bucket list, because it was always our goal to go back to Hawaii anyway. And then when we saw the Disney had a resort there, it just became obviously a no-brainer. So we were glad we were able to finally pull it off.
Yeah, and your pictures of the resort itself, like I get like Polynesian and Walt Disney World vibes, but like intensified. Is that like a good description?
Yeah, definitely Polynesian. I was just saying before it started. I would say if you've been to Walt Disney World and you've been to the different resorts there, kind of if you took Polynesian and Animal Kingdom and Wilderness Lodge and kind of did like a mashup, I would say that's kind of what you would get would be Aulani. It has some of the same feel, but also it has the resort draws very heavily on the culture of Hawaii as well.
Mm.
So it's familiar, but also something unique, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I like that the names of things and the decor and everything kind of stays true, like you said, to the Hawaiian culture, which is awesome. Which again, Disney does an amazing job in all of their infinity stones with trying to stay true to things. So.
Yeah, I'm excited. We actually, partly because of some of your pictures, Joe, we actually booked Aulani for me and my family for next spring break.
Yeah.
So we are. I don't know if you can see it. We are going. Yeah, we are going next February to.
Wow.
You are going to love it.
We're just kind of watching. We're kind of watching airfare right now. You know, trying to find that sweet spot when to purchase it. We've been to Hawaii before, but I've never been to this island. We've done Kauai, which I believe is kind of referred to as the more laid back. It's kind of what they call the White Pants Island over there. Very laid back. My other company that I work for, we had a retreat over there, and we got to hike I think it's the Nepali coast over there, or not Nepali coast, the Amalfi coast. But
you were really Nepali.
Nepali, the Nepali coast. Amalfi is Italy, but we done the hike over there in Kauai. So we're looking forward to doing this different island and a different vibe for sure.
So what's so great about Oahu is what's so great about Oahu is you get that mix of it's the most developed island in terms of amenities, your resorts and your dining and so on. But it also has plenty of areas that also are secluded as well. So you can really get a nice mix. And if you kind of want the best of both worlds.
And getting there, it's the ideal island because most flights come into Honolulu, which is on that island. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit easier to get to, which I'm sure Disney thought about that. And I read somewhere online, it's only like a 45-minute drive from like Pearl Harbor if you wanted to do an excursion.
Oh yeah. Everything is very close, very easily drivable. And there's also an excursion desk at the resort. So so for like Pearl Harbor, for example, you have the option of driving yourself if you wanted to, and just booking on your own, or taking an excursion and a guided tour through the resort if you want more of the convenience of that. So it's kind of a personal preference sort of a thing.
Yeah. Is that a thing you should book ahead of time, or is it something you can decide day of? Like, hey, let's go to Pearl Harbor today.
I just like anywhere, I would always recommend booking ahead of time, especially if you're going during a peak season, because you get there, you just don't know what crowds are going to be like. Using Pearl Harbor as an example, if it's really must do on your bucket list, why take a chance and wait till the last minute? Just book ahead of time. That's what we did. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So Jeff, you've kind of gone through this, so you can even answer this too. And then Joe, if you want to add to it. So what is your thought process in booking? Are there good times of the year to go? Are there times to avoid going? What type of studio or suite or whatever it is, villa that you're looking for? So I don't know, Jeff, depending on what you just booked, and Joe, what you just experienced.
So we booked one bedroom. We may have booked a little bit differently than Joe. I don't know, Joe, if you've done the villas or if you've done the hotel side. They kind of have a distinct difference. Me being a Disney Vacation Club member, we are using points to stay there, so we're going to be doing the villa style, and we done a one bedroom because there's a good chance that my daughter's boyfriend may go with us or something. So we want a little bit extra room.
Sure, right.
And as far as time of year, when did you go, Joe?
We went beginning of June. My daughter obviously is in school, and my wife is a school teacher, so we're really limited to those summer vacation months.
Yeah. So that's probably obviously when a lot of people are going to do it, that June, July, August timeframe. But I would think that Aulani, being in Hawaii, is probably going to be similar to most resorts. They're going to have that peak season during spring break, again during June, July, August, which may not be as busy as you think it is. When you got 3 months where people are coming in and out, I think spring break's the busiest time of the year. We're going during spring break, Alyssa, so that's when we're doing it. College spring break, so it's going to be like late February, early March time frame when we'll be down there. But that's when we're going, and we're doing a 1-bedroom villa. What did you have, Joe?
It's just 3 of us. We just did standard room, 2 queen beds with a balcony, and just overlooking the parking lot. And even that was like very scenic. You think, well, God, parking lot view. But it was, they have all kinds of landscaping. It was very scenic.
Yeah.
True. It's not just flat. There's actual hills or mountains.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's talking about gorgeous. What time of year to go is in Oahu or any of the islands, the ocean conditions change drastically throughout the year. So like talking about the North Shore of Oahu, which is a very draws a lot of tourists. In the wintertime is when they get those big, I'm not a surfer, but they get the big swells, the big waves. And that draws big crowds to the North Shore. So if that's something you are either looking to be a part of or looking to avoid, that could kind of dictate when you'd want to go as well.
And you bring up a question that I had, and maybe, Alyssa, I don't know, hope I'm not stealing anything off the run sheet, but ocean-wise, there a lot of these resorts on some of these islands don't have an ocean or a access to the beach because of conditions. As I understand it, Aulani does have a beach out there that they share with another resort, right? Isn't there a couple resorts that share that common
yes.
beach? It's more than just the pools there, right?
Right, correct. There is a beach, so it's where Aulani sits is in the Ko Olina region, and there's like a little resort area back there. It's kind of almost like a gated community, for lack of a better way to put it. And Aulani sits right next to Four Seasons Hotel, Four Seasons Resort, and there was also, I believe, a JW Marriott on the other side. And it's a very nice area, very quiet. And it does sit on, it's a protected lagoon that faces the Pacific Ocean. So it's not a beach in the sense that you think of like a big wide open beach. The water is very almost swimming pool like. It's very calm, very relaxing. It's perfect for families, especially if you have small children and you're worried about the waves, coming in safety and swimming. And yes, Jeff, you're right. Ko Olina or Aulani shares Ko Olina Lagoon with Four Seasons Resort right next door.
And you segued right into what I was going to go to next. So nicely done, Joe. The lagoon is where I was going next. It feeds into the ocean, but the lagoon being kind of, branched off of the ocean, you got the ocean waters with a lot less, I'm going to call it current, any of the hazardous conditions. So just as you said, families can really enjoy that. So
absolutely.
That's one of the big attractions to Aulani and, just the whole Disney vibe there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
speaking, go ahead, Alyssa.
You just picked up, Jeff, on something I was going to mention. Is that from what I know, and you guys can speak to this, Joe, if this is accurate or not. But it gives you, in a similar way, like Adventures by Disney does. It gives you the Disney vibes in terms of service and like expected like caliber and stuff. But the in your face Disney, like Walt Disney World or Disneyland, isn't as prominent. Like there are some things like characters maybe roaming around or things like that, but it's not like you could probably go there and not feel like you're necessarily at a Disney resort except for the service. Is that kind of accurate to say that?
That's absolutely accurate. Like you just said, Walt Disney World and Disneyland are kind of like ground zero for Disney. If you go to Aulani, Disney is there if you want it. So they do have like a character breakfast. They do have character greetings. They do have those elements. But it's not like a Walt Disney World vacation where everywhere you go is Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. And you could go for a week and barely see characters at all if you're not interested in seeing them. If you're interested in seeing them, then they are there, and then they're easy to find. But there's definitely it's not an in-your-face Disney at all. So, and I think it's important for people to realize, because sometimes I have talked to potential clients who are interested in Hawaii, and I recommend Aulani first, and some people are like, well, I'm not really a Disney fan. And I'm like, well, it's not really Disney in that same sense that you're thinking of. It has the same service as Disney, the same immersive theming as Disney, but the Disney elements are there only if you want to take advantage of them, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. And immersive theming could be like, again, kind of more that true to Hawaiian culture kind of thing.
Right, to the culture, really
Yeah, cool. That's awesome. Sorry, John, to interrupt you before.
That's okay, because I was kindly reminded by my good friend Jeff that, of course, we are brought to you by momentsofmagictravel.com. So everything we do, go to momentsofmagictravel.com for your free, no obligation quote. Now that plug's over and about 15 minutes late, we'll go back at it. And I hit the wrong format again. I am just batting 1,000 because I lost Jeff.
It's all good. We're all informal here.
Yes. So yeah, go ahead.
Alyssa segued nicely into one of the questions I had, talking a little bit about the resort and the Disney vibe, if you wanted, and the non-vibe. Obviously, you mentioned, Joe, that there's, character dinners or character breakfasts and everything. One thing I think we need to make known, so our viewers know, is that Aulani is not an all-inclusive resort. And a lot of people go to these beach resorts and stuff just basically because they want all you can eat food and drinks and everything. Mm-hmm. It's very important that people know that it's not inclusive. So what exactly did that mean to your family, Joe? What did you guys do? Did you pay for each meal as they come? Are there little meal plans? What does that mean exactly?
So unfortunately, they don't offer a meal plan. Basically, we just charge everything to our room. I do, like you said, it's not all inclusive. So any kind of food or drink or anything like that, you are going to pay out of pocket for. I found the easiest thing to do is just charge everything to my room. You can use your card to do it easily. And then just like you do like a lot of other places, just pay at the end.
Yep.
It's almost worth, if you know when you're going to be going, start socking aside a few bucks every week and kind of help out when the bill comes.
Yep. And, with like Disney World, I know what me and my family are planning to do is definitely enjoying some of those meals, character meals and all that. But I looked up on the map before the call and I saw that there was a Safeway and a Walmart not too far away. So you definitely could get groceries and have them brought over to the resort just as you would Disney World, Disneyland. If you have a room with the full refrigerator, microwave oven, and you could save some money doing that as well. Right, Joe?
Absolutely. For sure.
Yeah. Cool.
I do hear that groceries on the islands are very expensive.
Oh,
just
yeah.
Everything is imported. So I guess cost analysis, do you spend that money on groceries just to have the convenience in your room versus are you going to, how much more are you actually going to spend if you just go eat at the restaurants or the quick service options? So I'd be interested to see an actual breakdown.
Right. Yeah.
And truth be told,
I will save my receipts for you, Alyssa.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I struggle with this too because I have access to 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms at Disney World. I'm on vacation. I don't want a typical meal. I will go to a quick service and eat a corn dog because it's Disney. That's basically the way to go. I mean, what's our saying, Jeff? Calories don't count when you're at Disney World or on vacation.
Don't count at Disney.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. So Joe, did you dine at any of the table service, like the sit down restaurants there?
We did not dine at Ama. We went to Makahiki several times, and Makahiki means, I believe, bounty of the islands, and it's based on the Hawaiian harvest. And they offer a breakfast and a dinner menu, and of course they offer the character breakfast, which is very popular, and that's something that you're definitely going to want to book ahead of time if you're interested in. And the dinner menu was they offered steaks, they offered a chicken dish, I believe there was a pasta dish on the menu. So we ate there 3 times. And Ama, even though we didn't eat there, that's more upscale. And their menu is based very heavily on sustainable and fresh ingredients, local ingredients. So you'll see a lot of seafood. There's a Scanlan pork belly. They have a couple gluten-free options on the menu. So if you're looking for more of like I say, locally sourced type of menu, it is a higher price point because it's a fine dining experience. Mm-hmm. But I definitely recommend giving it a try. Beautiful location too.
Yeah, I was looking at the pictures. It looks out into the ocean, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be perfect to get a sunset dinner there or something.
Yeah. And throughout the show, we're gonna throw pictures in. I didn't have enough time to get everything together for the show, but we will throw some. Maybe we'll throw together a couple pictures on one of the websites and stuff like that. Our website, and we'll definitely share some of the photos that Joe took because he looked like Alyssa said it. We were living vicariously through him, knowing that his last time here he was talking about how he's going to Aulani. So hey,
And Joe, I already feel like we've been talking 20 minutes, and I'm already picturing everything you're saying so well, and I feel like I'm learning so much.
Oh,
from
good.
this. So like
Well,
this is
yeah.
so helpful. So just to kind of get an idea of something I haven't done, but it's also on my bucket list. It's my I don't know if it'll happen, but fingers crossed. It's my 10-year anniversary goal. So I have
Make it
5 more
happen.
years.
Make it
I
happen.
feel like
Start saving
5
now.
years is reasonable.
Start saving
Make
now.
So
Aulani
for,
happen.
Joe, for those that aren't ocean people, because a lot of people go to these ocean towns where they stay in the pools a whole week, you know, and
Correct.
they look
Yep.
at the ocean. They have lots of cool pools and lazy rivers and hot tub environments for those people who don't want the salt water, correct?
Yeah, they actually have a whole. So the way Aulani is laid out, there's the lobby area, and then on either side there's the two towers with the guest rooms, and in between is I'm going to try to see if I can pronounce it correctly, is the Waikolohe Valley area, and I can't vouch for the pronunciation of that. But
All
that's
good.
where you're going to find your pools and a lot of your dining, and they have several different pools. They have a family pool, they have a quiet pool, which used to be adult only, but now it's open to families as well. And then they
Huh.
have a grotto area pool as well as the lazy river you mentioned. So you could easily spend the whole day just in the pool area and never step foot in the ocean.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it was very also kid friendly. Like they have the little menehone, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Menahone, yeah.
The little Hawaiian men around there, and they make it interactive too. Like I know at nighttime you can make like the little menehone like light up and stuff. So
Yeah. So Menehune are apparently part of the local culture. They're called like mischievous little people, and they're supposed to be very good like at construction. And I guess the whole story there is that in Hawaiian culture, the Menehune come out at night and they kind of create these big, amazing structures overnight. And so you'll see them, like you said, sprinkled throughout the resort, and you can really make a fun game out of locating them. And then for the kids, they do have the Menehune Bridge, which is an interactive water play area. If you think about like a jungle gym with interactive water elements, and it's a lot of fun, and it's also centrally located right by the pool area. And then for the little ones, they have what's called Kiki Cove, which is like kind of like a little splash area for basically that would be like for your 2, 3, 4 year olds. And there's plenty of seating throughout, so really any age is can have a good time there.
Awesome.
And speaking of kids, so the thing that I was super excited to see is about their kids clubs too. And I know your daughter was older, so she probably didn't experience that herself. But what do you know about the kids clubs?
So the kids club, Auntie's Beach House, and that's located right off the pool area. It's very easily located, and it's for ages 4 to 12. And so what they do is they have kind of very similar to the kids clubs you would find at like on Disney Cruise Line, for example. They have activities, they have characters. The characters come in and interact with the kids. So if you're looking to give the kids something to do, or if you're looking to go out for dinner or lunch with your significant other, and you want to kind of let the kids hang out a little bit, Auntie's Beach House is the place to be, and it also has an enclosed, secure kind of a backyard area too, so the kids can get outside and play without wandering off.
So staying in the activities mode here for a minute, segue nicely. Talk to me a little bit about shows at night and how they celebrate the culture. I've seen some of the videos online. It looks like they have like a little mini luau or things of that nature. Tell me about what you guys got to experience at nightlife as a family.
So the luau is actually a full-scale luau. It's called Kava Luau, and it's located right on property. And it's really one of the best luau's on the entire island. And they have a delicious food. It's a buffet menu, and of course, excellent service. And they really get into the story of the Hawaiian culture where they were with the canoes and the exploration and the longboards. And so they really do a great job of telling the story. And the show is about 3 hours.
Oh wow!
And yeah, before that, there's also they have like little stations set up with different, like you can get like a fake tattoo for the kids, or do like kind of different Hawaiian arts and crafts. So that's right on property. And then right next door, just a short walk away, is one of the other best luau's on the island at Paradise Cove. It's called. It's not related to Aulani. It's a separate entity, but it's easily walkable. So if you want to have some nightlife and kind of also get off property a little bit, it's really just a 10-minute walk up the paved road. And so you can have two of the best luau's on the island within just a couple-minute walk.
Very cool.
And
Very
both
cool.
both luau's can be accessed by guests not staying at that resort. Is that accurate, or is Disney exclusive to Aulani guests?
Paradise Cove is not related to Aulani, so that's open to anybody on
Right.
the island. Kava actually stumped me on that one a little bit. I'm not. That would I would have to look up. Yeah, I'm not sure if somebody off property guests could access that or not.
But good to know that the other one anyone can go to.
And then Joe, is there the option? I mean, obviously that stuff's probably going on most nights, but if someone's there for 7 days and they want to experience other things, is there a town that's pretty close by that you could go explore nightlife and such?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I call it nightlife, but there's Ko Olina Station is right across the street, and there's a couple different dining options there that are real popular. There's a restaurant called Monkey Pods, which is very good.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah, definitely recommend.
Yeah.
We went there a couple times. Very good. There's a Mexican restaurant called Mexico Cantina. There's a real popular breakfast place called Eggs and Things right across the street. And then there's a variety of like shopping areas and stuff there over there too. That actually my wife and my daughter had just as much fun doing that, you know. And there's also for sundries and like small food items, like you mentioned earlier, Alyssa, an ABC store, which you'll find scattered all throughout the island. And you can get small bites. You can get all kinds of like beverages and then as well as souvenirs. So it's kind of almost like one-stop shopping.
Mhm.
Any kind of nightlife is going to be a little bit further removed because Ko Olina is tucked away a little bit, which could be, depending on what you're looking for, could be good or bad. We like the quiet, but like the nightlife of Waikiki is not a far drive at all. You can easily access it by car.
Awesome.
And would you recommend people get a rental car or rely on public transport or whatever Disney has?
I would definitely recommend getting a car. You can get a car at the airport, but you also can get a car. You can reserve a car as part of your package. And now, Jeff, I'm not
Nice.
sure if you did that or not. And you can pick it up right on property.
Cool.
Now, one thing to keep in mind, they close earlier than what I expected. They close, I believe, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I didn't realize that, and I went too late and missed my first day of the car. So if you're going to go pick up, go first thing in the morning. But yeah, with Ko Olina being a little removed, I would definitely recommend is renting your own wheels.
Yeah, we're still deciding that. You know, I read that they do have taxis and Ubers and Lyfts there, but it can get a little bit pricey after a while. So it may just average out getting a car. So we're still considering what we're doing there. But what did you guys do? Did you guys get a car? You said the whole time, or did you?
Just about the whole time. I think we missed maybe a first day or two. And like I said, there was a little snafu, which was my fault. I got my times mixed up. But we liked having a car because we want to explore different parts of the island.
Yeah.
And then what happens is there's so many different little nooks and crannies that you're kind of driving. You say, hey, let's stop here. Let's stop there. So if you have your own car, you have the freedom to do that compared to if you're just doing Uber or something like that.
So for the little place across the street, you said, with the Mexican restaurant and the shopping that your daughter and your wife enjoyed so much, is that walking distance from the place? Or okay,
yeah, everybody walks there. It's right across the street, and Aulani's on it's a I would call it a main road, but it's a very quiet main road. And there's paved sidewalks. It's very safe, easy to navigate. I had heard about Paradise Cove being right up the street, and Monkey Pod being right across the street, but I didn't have a visual. And then when we got there, I realized how easily accessible both of them were by foot. So
good to know.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So do you feel like a vacation to Aulani could be for either like the one that wants to relax, the one that wants to adventure, a middle ground of both? Like it could be literally for anyone.
Oh, sure. Because you have the beach there, you have the pools. You could, like I said, we spent several days just not leaving the resort. But you also have, it's Hawaii. You have rainforest hikes. You have no shortage of beaches to explore. You have the history of like the Pearl Harbor area. Of course, you have Waikiki. So you could spend the entire time. You could be as active as you want to be or as relaxed as you want to be.
Is Oahu where Jurassic Park was filmed? Can't you do the Jurassic Park?
That's Kauai. That's Kauai.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. My bad.
Yeah, that's.
I would take a puddle jumper for that because
it's funny you say that because
I was going to say that's the island that I went to of Kauai when we done that hike of the Nepali coast, Alyssa, and it was like 10 miles, but it was one of the most beautiful hikes I've ever done in my life. So,
yeah, what were we going to say, Joe?
Well, hey, John, it's funny you mentioned taking a puddle jumper for that because Aulani actually offers an excursion, a one-day excursion to Kauai to
Wow.
you fly over in the morning and then you spend the day. And I believe one of the things you do see is where, like Jeff was talking about, where some of the movie was filmed, and then you fly back at the end of the night. So if you want to get off the island and explore a different island, you do have that option.
Yeah, there's
Probably not very comfortable for a guy my size, though. I would guess.
But it might be something to consider because Kauai's got more than just the Nepali coast. They got one of the best zip lines that I've ever been on in my life, and this is the same grounds that they shot the movie Tropic Thunder with Ben Stiller in. So that's the same grounds that they shot that movie in. So then there's also a really cool town there called Hanalei over in Kauai. So there's some really great things to do if you did consider that excursion. So I think we may have to go back over there, Joe.
Yeah, it sounds like a plan. I'm in.
Now I'm a big water person. I got to ask you: is there somewhere locally there to rent a jet ski? Did you ever see that?
There are jet ski rentals. We did not rent them. I don't have the names on me, but you can't. They don't have them at the resort, unfortunately.
Okay,
but yeah, you can rent them on.
You got to dig a little bit. You got to dig a little bit. All right.
We're gonna have a second Aulani episode after your trip, Jeff, and and bring Joe back and then go back and forth. You were right about this, or I didn't know about this part.
Fill in whatever blanks I leave.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's talk pools because kind of like my jam, and we talk about this almost every episode. Beach club is my jam because of the lazy river. So how does this lazy river compare to? I mean, there's really only one lazy river as far as Disney World goes, or Disney proper. But how does it rank?
I think it's a beautiful lazy river. It's big enough to where it's not a short ride. It's scenic. I mean, again, they really try to make it immersive with the culture. So you'll see the rock formations are based on what the geology of Oahu, and the water. They have some water features. So we enjoyed it, and the tubes are included in your rate, so nobody has to bring their own tubes, and they're there for the taking. And there's also little like cubbies that you can leave your shoes or whatever you have. They're not lockers. So I wouldn't leave valuables in there, but you could pop your towels and shoes in or whatever like that. So yeah, no, it's a great lazy river.
And mentioning the things that are included, so there's no extra cost for any of the pool areas, no extra cost for the kids club, right? The majority of things are included. Is that accurate?
Yeah, majority is included. Not dining and drinks, obviously, but as far as activities, so yeah, all your pools are included. You do have to get wristbands in the morning because they want to limit the pool areas to Aulani guests. So I would definitely recommend whoever goes, get out there first thing in the morning, and get your wristbands. And then you're set for the day. And they color code the wristbands. So every day, Monday has a color, Tuesday has a color. And there's different locations throughout the resort. It's very easy to do. It just takes a few minutes. All the pools in Lazy River are included. Auntie's Beach House is included unless you want to book premium activities. They do offer some premium activities for an additional fee if you're interested. And there's a Moana experience, for example, there. And there's also a Surf's Up experience with Chip and Dale. So if you want to do that, you have that option. But there's also the complimentary Andy's Beach House experiences too.
So Joe, what about the families who don't want to get up early because they're on vacation, but they plan to use the pools that day? Is there a risk of the wristbands being all given out by noon, or is it because you're staying at Aulani, just whenever you get there to get the wristbands, you're fine?
Yeah, they just want to make sure that it's Aulani guests. What they don't want is because it's at Disney and people are going to be in Hawaii looking for something to do.
Yeah,
they're trying to keep bombardment of off-property people coming in, which is a courtesy towards Aulani guests. So the only risk you run is later you wait in the day, the longer the line might be. That's all.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
And did you ever feel it was crowded? Did you feel
never.
That's
no,
awesome.
we arrived June 2nd and we left June 11th, and I never once thought it was overcrowded at all. And I was a little worried about crowds being a Disney property in June, but I think maybe I think Hawaiian schools were still in session, but I think we were ahead of the curve with the crowds.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So around Memorial Day ish could be good, right after it.
Well, I kind of think about it as if you go to a Walt Disney World resort in Orlando, to me, they never feel overly crowded because you have people relaxing at the resort, but then you also have so many people that are going to the parks. And I think it's a lot like that. You do have people at the resort, but then you have everyone else that's going off and exploring different parts of the island. So it's not like an all-inclusive. Everybody's kind of just right there. People are at the resort, but they're also doing other activities off property as well.
And I honestly think that's one of the reasons why they didn't make it all inclusive, is so that people did explore other things, so they didn't have everybody there all day. Because I've been at some all-inclusive resorts before, and don't get me wrong, they're a blast, having your food and drink be included all day, but they felt pretty chummy as far as, getting a little bit too close to
they can be, sometimes.
Yeah, we'll have to do the benefits, non-benefits of an all-inclusive, just because my experience with it, it's like, yeah, I'd rather it not be all-inclusive and actually have things that I want to eat every day.
Yeah. So speaking kind of the cost, I saw that they do have actually a pretty giant promotion going on right now. If you guys saw that, so for a majority of the rest of the year, you can get 25% off of your hotel room, which is a big chunk. So for an 8-night trip, you could be saving easily $1,000 or more. So
yep, and that'll cover a good portion of your food and drink spending too.
So it might be
and of course,
a great time to contact Joe or one of us and
momentsofmagictravel.com for your free no obligation quote. Shout out to Leslie, our wonderful owner, for everything she does for us. I cannot wait to go out to Aulani. I think I'm gonna go probably in the next couple years, just because I have a milestone birthday going. So why not do the midlife thing and go to Hawaii?
I know one thing that we didn't ask that I think is pretty important. Joe, what was the weather like for you when you were out there? Because that's such a big part of a beach vacation, of a resort vacation, a destination vacation. Tell us about the weather in Hawaii as comparison to Florida during the summertime. You got that occasional daily humidity shower. What did you guys experience?
So I would describe the humidity in Hawaii as being significantly less than Florida. To me, the climate in Hawaii is comfortable and warm, but not uncomfortably hot. When we've gone to different Caribbean destinations like Turks and Caicos or Punta Cana, to me, those destinations, which I love, are much hotter, and the sun is way more intense than what you'd find in Hawaii. I mean, it's warm, don't get me wrong, and the sun can be intense, and you definitely want to screen up, but at no point did you ever feel uncomfortable or that, God, I need a break, I need to get in the air conditioning. It's a much more of a pleasant climate, I would say.
So Hawaii's got rainy season just like anywhere else. What did you guys encounter much rain while you were there? Not at all, right?
Well, I mean, here and there you get a quick passing shower, but it passes quickly. Ko Olina is on a little bit more of the drier side of the island, whereas if you go to the windward side, which is beautiful, because the mountain range there, it affects the climate on either side. So you'll see much more of a lush, not that Ko Olina is not lush, but much more, it's more of a wet environment on the windward side.
More rainforesty, right?
Yeah.
On the other side.
Yeah. Very scenic drive too. I definitely recommend going.
Yeah, we had to make sure we asked that question because weather is such a big part of everyone's vacation. When as a travel agent, I'm sure you do too, John and Alyssa and Joe, when we talk about Disney World in the summer, I prepare my clients that you're going to have probably rain every single day you're there. You need to count on it just because those humid conditions in Florida.
Right.
It doesn't sound like that's the case in Hawaii, where the humidity builds up and it has to give, right? It just seems like it's a passing shower more than humid showers.
Yeah, that's exactly the best way to describe it. I mean, again, be smart, be safe, know your limits. I mean, it can get warm and the sun can get intense, so make sure you drink your water and do all the things that you would otherwise do. But I definitely much more of a mildly comfortable climate, I would say.
That's awesome.
For sure.
I'm picturing myself there right now.
She's going to be bothering her husband shortly after the show because
for 5 years.
Every show we do, Alyssa gets a bug planted in her head that she has to go on vacation, and even though she says she's taking a break, she ends up on vacation. It's a vicious cycle.
She's going to FaceTime me every day there next spring and say, "What are you doing now? What are you doing now?"
Well, let me put it this way: Aulani might be my favorite trip I've ever taken. We would go back tomorrow if we could.
Man, he set the bar high now.
Yeah, that's a high
man.
What could go
Come
wrong?
at me,
Keep
Disney
giving me
World.
things to convince the husband to go. That's awesome. Oh man! All right, I think I went through my whole list. Can you guys think of anything else? Like,
No,
Really
I mean,
great
I guess let's talk travel requirements. It's obviously part of the United States, right? So, just your good old driver's license is all you should need to fly over there. You know, it's not considered part of the continental United States, but it's one of those two outsourced states, you know, Alaska and Hawaii. So, but it's all you need, right? You don't need a passport. You don't need anything more than a driver's license to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. No passport. There's no more COVID restrictions. So yeah, just your typical flying. So just be smart about where you route through. Make sure you allow yourself enough time on ground to get from one gate to the next. We're coming from Cleveland, so we routed through San Francisco, which is pretty much dead halfway for us.
Yep.
And we had about an hour and a half on the ground, which I thought was just enough time to get to where we need to be and not have to rush. One thing I do want to circle back to real quick, if we could, we talked about dining earlier, and we talked about the table service, but Aulani also has like a variety of dining options that are not all table service.
Quick, right?
Yeah, they have quick service. There is table service, but it's a more casual, like off the hook. And they have like the Olelo Cafe, the Olelo Room, which is like quick bites for breakfast and lunch and cocktails and stuff like that. So there's a variety of dining options. It's not all upscale.
Is it similar to like, you know, Beach Club, Yacht Club, Wilderness Lodge, all the resorts at Walt Disney World, where if you're just hanging out at the pool, you can just walk up to one of these places in your swimsuits and stuff and order some food and take it right back to your chair, right? Uh-oh, did we lose Joe?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, some of them are very casual. In fact, there is a poolside service, so you can order your lunch, and they'll bring it to where you're at. And there's also a mobile order for some of the locations, like off the hook as well, that we utilized.
Very cool.
So
that's what I wanted to hear, because I know breakfast, I can see us doing it in our room or going to one of the characters, and then beyond that, I don't want any structure when I go to Aulani.
Yeah.
I want a pita or something at the pool, you know, with swimsuit, and then maybe we put a polo on for dinner.
I did not even have to put I did not even put my Mai Tai down to order lunch, so it was that casual.
Wow, that's going hard, son.
Yes, that's what I wanted to hear right there. So yeah, but getting back to transportation, depending on what airlines you guys fly, Joe just mentioned, you know, his mid stop was San Francisco. I know I fly Delta a lot, so I've already looked at it. I think my stop's going to be Seattle, and then Seattle over there. It just depends on what airline and what their hub is over there in either California or Washington State, or maybe even Oregon.
Or what you can do. Oh, sorry, Alyssa. What you can do is you can actually, you know, like I live outside Buffalo, so I'd fly from Buffalo to LAX, spend a couple of days at Disneyland, and then fly to Aulani, and then boom, vacation on top of vacation on top of vacation. We solved it. momentsofmagictravel.com.
Absolutely.
No, I talked once about doing even like the end of October at Disneyland, get the Halloween stuff in, then go to Aulani for a week, then come back to Disneyland again and get the Christmas stuff in, and make it like a 2-weeker kind of thing.
Look at that. That's smart. That's smart. Oh.
Wait, maybe. What was it? What's 5 years from now? 2028. Maybe it'll happen.
You may have to put that itinerary together, and we'll start selling it at Moments of Magic. You got the Halloween, then you go to Aulani, and you come back, and you got Santa Claus.
Yep, there you go.
And what did I just saw announced today that Disneyland at they're going to be adding on to the area of the Haunted Mansion to increase that grounds over there. That's really cool. And for those people who was anxiously waiting tomorrow's reveal for the Disney Treasure, it's being delayed 5 days because of the hurricane.
Yes. We will have special coverage of that. We're going to just piecemeal it together next week. I think we're going to aim for Tuesday. So we're going to recap the announcement. We'll get a couple of cruise experts, of course, from Moments of Magic Travel, and we'll piece together everything. We'll get everything you need to know for this massive ship. It's going to be spectacular. I cannot wait.
They kind of done us a favor, the hurricane, John. We got some time to plan for that now.
Yeah,
True.
I was
We're
kind
looking
of
at it
like
tomorrow.
looking at my schedule, and I'm like, we were gonna do a recap on Thursday, but given everything
No, we're good.
going on, like it's really
No, we're
hard
good.
this week. So we'll
Yeah.
have fun. We'll have Leslie or Cindy on, our resident cruisers, and man, we will lay the information down.
Lots of
So
exciting things happening at
yes,
Disney. But
yep,
Joe, awesome information about
Thank
Aulani.
you.
I am even more excited now for next spring break. We just got to get those proverbial flights booked, so it's official.
yeah,
But
You will love it.
yeah, can't
Yeah.
wait. So anything
This
else,
is-
guys?
No, this has
I-
been so good.
yeah.
So good.
I really, Joe, I say it every time. You are a wealth of information, and
Thank you.
we're gonna have to create. If we ever do get a store, we will have a Joe Goff been there, done there T-shirt because you are really just a master planner, and we appreciate you here.
Well,
So-
my pleasure. Thanks for having
wait.
me.
Oh,
Joe, can you please remind everyone how
Yes.
can they reach you if they would like to book a vacation with you?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so my email is joe@momentsofmagictravel.com. And you can see my Facebook page is Joe Goff, Moments of Magic Travel Agent. And my Instagram is Joe at, Joe, what is it? At Joe Goff Travel Agent. That's the one I use the least.
yep,
Awesome.
So email's the best.
yes.
Yeah, I
So-
agree with John. Joe, wealth of knowledge. You must have had a really good trainer back in the day.
Yeah. Oh,
Best one
come
around.
on.
Best that I know of.
That's J-Beck level there, Jeff.
Yeah.
Come on.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
There you go. No, but awesome information. Just I'm so excited now to go to Aulani. It's going to be a blast.
It is beautiful.
I'm even more excited now, especially just thinking about the weather now and hearing that it's not as humid. That's a big part. It's been a while since I was there. It was like 15 years ago we went to Kauai, so it's been a minute, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yep. So that is going to do it for this episode 36. We're creeping the 50. So for Joe, for Jeff, for Alyssa, I'm John. We'll see you next time. Have a great one.
You guys
Bye,
take care.
y'all.
Bye, everybody.